Hello, it's me. Okay, this is just gonna be a simple video about how to use these Max7219 LED matrices. This video is for people who have absolutely no experience for driving stuff like these, and these are good choice for first-time hardware. I'll include some links in the description, so if you're not sure what to get the right thing, yeah, just use the links. And if you want to buy these yourself, just make sure several things. These are 1.2 inches, I think, and they have a chip. It's most likely a Max chip, and this one is 7219, but there are other ones too. I would say go for these are relatively cheap. And there are two kinds of these small LED matrices. One uses SPI, the other uses I2C. For this tutorial, I'm gonna teach you about the SPI one because it's cheaper and you can chain them. The I2C one exists, but you may need to learn that on your own. How to know if you got the right one? The SPI one should have several pins called D-in, CS, and clock. If you have one that sorry about that. If you have one that writes SDA and SCL on it, you got the wrong one. Yeah, you got the I2C one. So yeah, for the LED matrices, just get these. And they come in like 3 colors. Oh no, I think they do more. Adafruit makes them too. They come in like orange, yellow, green, blue. Yeah, red. Yeah, I'm gonna be using red. As for the controller, to control these, I'm gonna show how to use a Arduino Uno for this. If you have absolutely no experience before this, I would say go for the Uno. If you don't want to go with the Uno, at least get something that's a simple Arduino. Go with the Arduino Uno, the Nano, Mega. Don't go for something like a Teensy or ESP. You can use those, but those will have some specific problems to them. They are faster and sometimes even not as expensive as these Arduinos, but most of the better chips run at 3.3 logic level. So yeah, that will have its own set of problems. So go with these Arduinos, the basic ones, if you're new. There are, can I say counterfeit? Because Arduino is an open source project, there are ones from the makers, designers themselves, which cost more, and there are also ones from like China, yeah. I would say if you're just starting out, just get the ones from China. Though the genuine ones are made of a better quality and will a lot of the time like, how do I say that? They have a lower failure rate because sometimes you get these from China and they'll just act weird. So yeah. Yeah. Just check out the description. I'll leave it down there. So, and you also need these DuPont pins. If you're good with soldering, I would say just solder them, but this is a simple tutorial, so I'm gonna teach you how to use these DuPont pins. If you're starting out and testing stuff, you can use these, but they're not really good if you're using it on your final thing, because they tend to like wiggle loose and stuff. So for testing, good. For final thing, bad. Anyways, I'm gonna show you how to use these too. And you will need, at least for the Arduino Uno, one of these USB cables. They should come with your Arduino Uno, so yeah. Okay, now onto the computer stuffy. You will need a computer. I have a laptop here. It will need to run Windows 7 or newer, I would say if you can, use a Windows 10 computer, because Windows 7 has driver. You need to manually install drivers for Arduino. So yeah, that's gonna be it for hardware for now. Next I'm gonna tell you how these LEDs work and how you can program them. I think how they work is a bit important because it makes you know, like you'll need to know the basics, trust me. Okay then. Woo-doo-doo. Okay, I hope OBS works. Here I'm gonna assume a few things. That you know the basics of electricity, and you have the Arduino environment installed, and you can run like a basic sketch. If you don't, you can look at some tutorials on how to use an Arduino, and after you use like a blink sketch to make it blink, come back to this video. There should be tons of tutorials for that. And I'm only gonna talk about the LED specific stuff here. Okay, LEDs. Everybody knows that, let's say this is an LED. It has two legs, one positive and one negative. And here we have a battery. Ugly battery, but still a battery. If I connect these terminals, this LED will light. You okay with that? Everybody knows that, right? So now we can make one LED light up by connecting a power source to it. So let me just erase this badly drawn LED. Now we have a Arduino, which is basically a microcontroller. It is something, I'm just gonna write this, MCU, microcontroller unit, I think. The thing you can do with microcontroller units is basically use coding to program it either to output a high level or a low level. So let me see, if I say it has two pins, P1 and P2, then we connect them to LEDs. Ugly ass, I know. P1 to LED, P2 to LED, and this is ground. We're going to connect these two to ground. So now you can see whenever I tell the controller to output high level on P1 here, so if the microcontroller gives positive here, this one will light up. Whenever it gives positive here, this one will light up. So you can see now I can use coding to control these two LEDs. Sounds easy, right? Yeah, it is. Because this is the most direct way to control them. But the problem is, once you try to control a lot of LEDs, like with this matrix over here, this one it has 64 LEDs, you'll encounter a problem of you don't have enough pins on this microcontroller. It may only have like 13 I/O pins, and you have 64 LEDs. What to do then? Well, the way we do it, let me erase this, is we have a chip here. We have a chip here. I'm just gonna write Max on here. God damn it. Max chip. And then let's say we only have 4 LEDs for simplicity's sake. We have 3 LEDs. And we connect them to the Max chip. I'm just gonna say that this is ground. Connect them here, here. So now we have 3 LEDs connected to this Max chip. So what this Max chip does is it has 3 cells over here because we only have 3 LEDs. Let's say it has a memory of 3 bits. That means it has 3 cells over here. And we can put either a high voltage or low voltage into these cells, which means a 1 or a 0. And each of these cells corresponds to each of these LEDs. Let's say inside the Max chip we have something like 100. It reads out these 100s and then it turns on the first LED. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it reads out 100, turns on the first LED and does nothing to the second and third. So that's all this Max chip does. And this Max chip is the same on these LED modules. So now all we're gonna do, all that we have to do is input these 1s and 0s inside this Max chip, so it knows what to do with these LEDs. So let me erase this, these zeros, erase this. Now is when our Arduino comes into play. Our Arduino is here, MCU again, and the Max chip has 3 legs, not including the positive and negative. We have CS, clock, COK, and DIN. So we connect these 3 to the Arduino, and then the Arduino can then send commands over to the Max chip. Like it can send, let me say, 0, 1, 0, and then the 0, 1, 0 will go over here inside the Max chip and it will turn on the second LED. So how exactly does it send the 0, 1, 0? That I would like to elaborate a bit. So here with these 3 pins, I'm gonna talk about DIN first, because as we know it, high voltage, let me say, what the hell? This is 0 volts, this is 5 volts. So 5 volts is a high, which is a something is 1 to this Max chip. And 0 volts is nothing, so it's a 0 for this Max chip. So whenever our Arduino gives out 5 volts, the Max chip will treat it like a 1. Whenever it gives out 0 volts, the Max chip will treat it like a 0. So for DIN, it will need to do something like this. Let me erase this shoes. It will, let's say it's sending 0, 1, 0. For the DIN, it will send out a another color, 0 volts, 5 volts, 0 volts. So whenever it sends the 0 volts, 5 volts, 0 volts on the DIN chip, the Max chip will receive the 0, 1, 0. So the problem then begins to, if it wants to send out something like 1, 1, 0. If I try to send out 1, 1, 0, which would basically look like this. Damn, I draw ugly. So 1, 1, 0. All the Max chip gonna see is high then low, how does it know this high, which is this part, is 2 ones rather than 1 1? So that's what the second line does, the clock line. So we're trying to send 110, right? And the data in will only look like high then low. So we need to tell the Max chip when we're gonna send the highs and lows, which is the ones and zeros. So the clock line is gonna do one thing. Let me erase this. It's gonna tell the Max chip whenever the clock line is high, that means whenever the clock line goes from 0 to high, that means that the data should be red. So let me draw the 110 again. So this is 5, 0, 1, 1, 1, and 0. And this is our D in. And then our clock will look something like this. This clock pin it will do this. So rising edge, rising edge, rising edge. It won't do exactly this, but something like this. So then you can see whenever the clock pin is 5 volts, which is here, this will read as a 1, 5 volts, this will read as a 1, 5 volts, this will read as a 0. So then our Max chip will get 110, which means this one turns on, second one turns on, third one does nothing. I hope that's clear. I think I'm really awful at talking about this, but I think people don't talk about how these things work enough. You don't really need to know how it works in order to use it, but I just want to talk about it. So the next part is going to be about actually using it. I hope this part is clear. If this part isn't clear, don't blame me. So now we're gonna connect up some LEDs to the Arduino, of course. We'll need, how many? We need 5 wires. So let me take 5 here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Connect VCC, which is positive, to the 5 volt of the Arduino, and the GND, which is ground, to ground of the Arduino, and then we have D in, CS, and clock, which for example purposes is gonna be 7, 6, and 5. So let's just connect these up. So D in to 7, D in to 7, Whoop. CS to 6, and then clock to 5. So you should end up with something like this. Should be easy. Shouldn't be that hard. And you're done connecting. We can now try to test it out. Back to the code. Okay, now on to the code. For the code, you should be here, which is a new Arduino sketch. Let me close this. First thing we're gonna do is we're going to install a new library. So sketch, include library, manage libraries, and then wait for this to complete. And type LED. Oops, I forgot it. What is it called? LED control. Type LED control. Should be the first one, and install it. Wait for it a bit. So now it's installed. Let's close this. So now we have LED control installed. You should at least know a bit about how Arduino works, but here I'm just gonna dump some example sketches on you because haha. So we just go to this lovely website called LED Matrix Editor because it's really easy to use, and why not? And here there's a great example code. Oh, I'll link this site in the description. Just copy the whole example code. I need my mouse. That's better. Copy the whole example code. Push it back here. You want to delete these two and then paste. So now we have the exact example code here. So I'm gonna tell you a bit about how this sketch works. First thing, this is images. See this? Is OBS running? Yeah, OBS is running. So first we have images over here. This is an array of bitmaps. So what this contains is a bunch of ones and zeros. So each one of these is 64 ones and zeros. A 1 for a on LED and 0 for a off LED. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You get the idea. So there are a bunch of images here. Each one of these is a different image to display. What this sketch does is it pushes the image onto the Max chip on here, void display here. This is called bit banging, if I'm not mistaken. So basically it reads out these ones and zeros and then it sends them to the Max chip one by one. And on the void loop here we can see display image. Image is I. I stands for which one of these images to push. So if I just write 1 here, it will only display image 1 here. But this is a loop, so void loop, image is I, and because I is increasing, plus I here, it will do image 0, image 1, image 2, it will basically display all the images in a row. So once you got your Arduino connected, and this sketch loaded, you can then try this test sketch to see what you get. You need to select your Arduino chip here. So board, mine is an Uno, so I just selected Uno, and port. It should display the COM port if you already connected your Arduino to the computer. Just connect the USB port and you'll be fine. If you don't see this, COM7, then you may have a problem. It isn't always going to be 7, it could be like COM22, COM1 or something, but you are gonna have an additional COM port here for you to select. If you can't select this, that means you haven't connected your Arduino successfully. Yeah, so here I did connect it, so COM7, select that, then it should read Arduino Uno on COM7 here. Then we will just press upload and save this. Okay, so now it says done uploading and we can see if it works. So if it uploaded successfully, you should see something like this. This is the test sketch. So if you don't see something like this, something went wrong. Either you connected it wrong, or you didn't upload it successfully. If it says done uploading on your computer, then you did upload it successfully. So you probably connected it wrong. But basically you should see this. So now the next step is how to design your own images to make it not display only this. Okay, back to our computer here. So how to design your own thing to display. So here you can see what we just uploaded. This thing, it looks very confusing, but this is hex code, which is basically, how do we call it? It's in hex. Look it up. Okay, so it equals this. This is binary. 1 equals the LED up, 0 equals the LED not up. So you see there are 8 ones, 8 zeros, 8 zeros. So if we upload this inside, it will display what we just saw. 8 images, image 1, image 2, image 3. This is the exact same thing, just in hex code. So if you really wanted to, you can just type out like B00001 to light up this LED, but that will take you a lot of time and it will be not fun. So we have this handy website here, you see, with these LEDs. So what we can do is, well, let me say I want to display a, sure, a T. So let me just click these. Yeah, a T. And then we just click, oh, wait a second. T. No. Yeah, fun. Insert, update. So after you're done drawing, click insert, click update, and you will see it has a code here. This. Now you can just copy this whole thing. So copy this here. Copy. Go back to our Arduino, and then replace this code. So replace this images array with that code we just copied. And on our loop code, delete this. And then because we only have one image, which is this, we only need to put 0 over here. Okay, in the computer world, 0 is 1. The first thing is always called the 0 thing. So here we only have one image, we're gonna put 0 here. If we have, let's say, hypothetically, we have 2 images here. So 1, 2, and I wanted it to display the second image, I would put 1 here. You get my drift? So put 0 here since we only have one image. After this, just click upload. And after it says done uploading, we can get back to our LED. So back here you can see our T. And now we're gonna think, oh, that was easier than I expected. Yeah, it is. But this is only for the simple stuff. So for the simple stuff, you can use this method just fine. And if you want to, you can connect multiples of these together to display something bigger, which I'm gonna teach you in some other tutorial. For this tutorial, you're just gonna have to know how to draw your own stuff and upload it to this Arduino. If you can do this at this point, then woo, you should be happy, woo. So now I'm gonna tell you how to draw something that moves. Like maybe you want some blinking animations or something. Let's make this T move. So back to the computer. So back to our computer here. Back to our website. Now we just drew a T, right? Let's say we want to do maybe a T, then see we have something to click here, then a plus. And then we click insert, which you can see we have a T and a plus. So T here, plus here. And then maybe we want the T to go lower, so maybe this. Whatever, man. So we have this. We have 3 frames. After you're done drawing all your frames, just click update and you will see this code changed. We now have 3 frames here. So copy it, paste it to our Arduino code here. So now we have 3 frames. So in our loop over here, we have frame 0, which is the first frame, and then we have a bit of delay. Then we're going to tell it to display the next frame, which is gonna be frame 1. So we copy this line, paste, image 1, and then we're gonna copy another delay. Delay is basically telling the microcontroller to do nothing. So display image 0, do nothing, display image 1, do nothing. And then we have 3 images, right? So copy this again, 2. So 0, 1, 2 corresponds to first, second, and third frame. So what this code is gonna do is gonna display frame 0, frame 1, frame 2, frame 0, frame 1, frame 2. Because it's inside the loop. Let's just click upload and see what it does. Oop. Now back to IOED. Oops, I forgot to put the last delay here. So you should have 3 delays instead of 2, and I increased the delay time. So back to IOEDs again. So back to our matrix over here. You can see it's now displaying what I just told it to. So if you can do this, then you're already on the right track. You can probably program some eyes or something. If you found this video helpful, then tell me, because I'm really not sure if it is. It could be completely unhelpful, then yeah. And if you want me to do more about how to think these up and use more of them, more matrices as one, tell me too, because I'm not sure if this will be helpful. So yeah, I'm just putting this video out. So yeah, bye bye. See you next time.